Today I'm starting a new project in the back staircase. What I'm going to design is a device for transporting heavier items up and down the back staircase. Looking at capacity of 50 pounds, and I want to keep it as hidden as possible so someone coming in taking a quick glance at the back stair wouldn't notice it right away. So that's the design criteria. So this is a stairwell. You can see some of the heavier items at the bottom there. We got, I believe, 10 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 9 steps. You can see the existing handrail there. That's the handrail that I'm going to try to mount the track device underneath it that will be used with a little car in it to transport the heavy products downstairs. There's the track bar there. It's 1 5/8 by 12 gauge unistrut, and I'm going to mount it directly, as I said, underneath that handrail. Just take a trip down the stairs here. We'll see some of these heavier items that we're looking at transporting. We've got 50 pounds of cat litter, so that's about the heaviest item. Then here's a 44-pound bag of softener salt, and then we've also got Epsom salts as well in a 50-pound bag. So I'm planning on designing it for at least 100 pounds to have a safety factor involved in it as well. You can see from the top view down here, I'm standing at the bottom looking up, gives you a bit of an idea. And yeah, we're going to start by taking this handrail down, and there's a concrete wall in behind there, so we'll fasten our track onto the concrete wall, and then the handrail will be screwed onto the top of the track, so it's pretty much hidden from view. So yeah, we'll see you in the next clip when we've got the project well underway. So the transporting device for the back stair is all completed, up and operational. We used it fair bit because we had a big family function. We brought tables up with it, chairs, and worked very well. So this is the bottom part here. You can see where it's all compact in and kind of sits in flush when you're not using it. And this is that 1 5/8 heavy duty unistrut that we talked about in the first video part. This is a track that it rides on, and there's a roller in the back here, that little wheel that rides along that track to carry the weight. But you'll get a closer look at that when I get it to the upper position. So this little shelf here just clips on when you want to use it. So you wouldn't want to leave that on because it juts into the stairwell, and that's what I was talking about, to keep it as compact and hidden as possible. So I'll put this 50-pound cat litter on here just to give you a sense of what it looks like in operation, and I'll send it to the main floor. Well, there we are. It's at a nice height for removing it off of the platform. You can see in here in the back here, there's a switch that stops it when it reaches the upper limit. And then looking underneath, you get a better view of the roller that rides on this track here. And this wheel just rides on that piece of flat bar. So we'll run it back downstairs, and we'll bring up something else for our next test. Actually, I'll send this cat litter back down again. I don't want it up here. So as soon as it gets to the bottom, it automatically stops based on this cable getting loose. And I'll show you after how that switch works to sense whether the cable's loose or not. So the top limit is a regular switch, and the bottom limit is checking that the cable's loose. And it also has a weight limiter on it, that if there's too much tension on the cable, it automatically shuts down. I have it set at about 60 pounds, and I'll show you when we get into the area where the little winch is, how that all works. I'm going to install another jig that helps you transport items up the stairs. And that's this device here. So in this position here, you can hang coats and that kind of thing on. Set the height here and hang them there. I'm going to do that in a minute. And then when you turn it this direction, you can use it to clamp. So I had a table on here that I was telling you about, that function, about 4 feet long, and set it on there, and I just dropped this down onto the table and that clamped it in place. But for this demonstration, we're not going to do a table today because it's a bit more work, but I'll send up some heavy winter coats that have to come up for the summer season. That hangs on there nice out of the, and fits it And there you go. That's kind of what the transport's all about. So yeah, we'll go down now into the, we'll call it the machine room, where the equipment is that makes this all happen. So this is the area underneath the staircase. There's a couple of doors here. It's kind of a storage area where I have all the equipment in here. So you can see the control panel there and the little winch that operates the cable. So yeah, if we go down underneath here, you can see a couple of the different parts of it. So here is the cable sensor. So it senses whether the cable's tight or loose. And as soon as the cable loosens like that, this flips down. There's a cam eccentric here that triggers this limit switch and shuts it down. So that's the bottom limit. And then the top limit is that proximity switch, which goes into the, feeds into the panel here where there's a couple of motor starter relays. And then for the limiting of the force, if you look under here, you'll see there's a couple of springs located underneath the winch itself. So those springs let that float, and it reacts by lifting this up. It goes up once it senses the load, and when it goes up, it triggers this switch here, which was already built into the winch itself. So that was the upper limit when the winch was, say, had a hook would arrive there, and it would shut the unit down. So I figured I might as well utilize that switch because it was already there, and yeah, it was already working as a safety device. So yeah, it just reacts against those springs, lifts up, hits that switch and shuts it down. So it's easy to adjust. You just tighten or loosen these two nuts here to increase the force, which I may do later on a future test for heavier loads, just to see how well it reacts to that. And yeah, that pretty much recaps this project. I think we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. And yeah, we got a neat little device that works well. And like I said, I had a practical use for it. We had a big party here a few weeks back, and there was lots of items to move from the lower level to the upper level. So worked great. And yeah, thanks for watching.